Why did you suddenly go all exaggerated British there?
Because sometimes it's fun to do that.
Oh, I know it is, but still, it was atrocious.
You know what's
Please
funny?
never again.
Well, it's funny because growing up, me and my friends, we always like did British accents and stuff, for
Hmm.
fun. I wondered if like you guys ever did that with American accents when
Oh, of
you were growing
course,
up. See,
everyone did.
I think that's funny.
Everyone tried to do the New York one,
Oh my
obviously, but I'm not
gosh.
going to try and attempt that.
I'm walking here.
Exactly. But you probably have a better grasp on it being American.
A little bit. There's some crazy accents in America.
Hmm.
The Texas, well, the
You see.
southern one is the most easiest one ever.
Yeah, of course.
Just,
But I'm not even going to attempt it either. I'm not that kind of guy, you know.
you just talk real slow and exaggerate everything. Ah. Oh, chat. I'm giving you, I don't know how many minutes because
Well,
I.
just no, not 5 more minutes. I'm just doing everything, tweeting and that. So,
Right. No set time. I'm too tired. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm getting like mold poisoning down here.
oh, right.
I'm supposed to be in a respirator down here, but I didn't think that would look good for camera, so I just shut my door. But if I start coughing, it's because I'm in a totally destroyed basement.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be doing that.
Well, we're getting to their quickie anyway.
Yeah, I mean, still not do that anyway.
Yeah, it'd be funny. I can be Bane next time. Wear my rebreather.
Please don't.
I was
I mean, it would be
born in
better than
it.
definitely dying.
Only slightly.
Brilliant.
uh,
Please just move your office upstairs. Just do
I
it.
probably will have to temporarily do that because I've opened a new section of my business, which I'm not
Yeah.
ready to talk about yet, but holy crap, I will
Okay.
be eventually. But
Cool.
that means that I can't be down here working 8-hour days.
Yeah, of course. Is any chance of I don't know, needing employees?
Not yet. Not yet. But you're the first one to call.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm like Ghostbusters.
Mm hmm. That's right. uh, and then to
Sorry, let
top
me just
it.
check levels.
Do what? Oh, check levels. Well, and then to top it all off,
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I've been watching the original series of Stranger Things, so don't worry, no spoilers.
Good.
But whenever they're in the bad place, it's got toxic air and it has like,
Oh, the upside down, you mean?
yeah, and it has all the spores in the air, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all I can see in my head when I'm down here because
Yeah, you probably
this
should
room,
get out there quick then.
this room right here still has the electricity in it, but the rest of the
Ooh.
entire basement is out. So it's like dark. It really is the upside down in here. I don't like it. But hopefully it's only for 2 more weeks anyway. So that's good. Oh, and then I'll tell us for our audience, our viewers. So I have this terrible haircut right now in the front of my face. And it's because when I was taking my driving test, my bangs were so long they were hitting the top of my glasses.
Brilliant.
So, and I couldn't see, but they're not long enough to move to the side. So I just grabbed the scissors and cut them straight across so I could see for my driving test.
God's sakes.
So now I have like these terrible bangs that I never had the intention of having. And they look awful.
Oh, we're good. Yeah, let me just run a quick test recording in the background. So let's do some talking, I guess.
Talkie.
Yeah,
And
thanks for that.
talkie.
Really, really natural, you know.
It's the
Giving off the full
natural
range of emotion there.
talkie. Hey, this is the range of my emotions, as you well know.
Is it?
I
I'm
have
sure I've seen more.
I have 5 emotions, but I feel them very, very deeply. But I only have 5. Oh my gosh, I really do feel like I'm about to start coughing. I think it's all mental though. I think that's all.
Okay. So I'm just I just read a tweet you posted out from last night, and
oh, my drunk tweet. I had to delete one because
not your drunk tweet, just the sorry folks one. It's just like, oh god.
Sorry folks.
It's just like, really?
Is it me being emotional?
No. It's just those kinds of people.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, my inbox filled up so fast within like 3 minutes of posting a tweet, and I was like, what is going on?
That's how it happens, you know.
Yeah, and then like strangers were replying and stuff. And I was like, what is going on? And then I realized I hadn't censored drunk.
Yeah, of course you hadn't.
And just all the Twitter boys came out, and it was like, no, I am the wrong. Hey, Bueno, I am the wrong chick for that.
Bueno.
I don't judge anybody.
You are. But...
Yeah, I don't judge, and I don't judge anybody at all. It's cool. It's cool. It's just I'm not that way.
Of course. Hang on, let me just go back and check this shizzle.
Checkity check. How are you doing, Bueno? Pete and I are feeling rough today. God, I look terrible.
I'm not rough. What are you talking about?
I was throwing you in there with me. We're a team.
Not the window store, you fool.
But I do look really bad. But it's purely because I drank an entire bottle of wine last night in less than half an hour. I think I did it in about 25 minutes, if I'm honest. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. Which is saying something. Because I do lots of dumb things. Levels are a little low. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Both of us or just Pete? I'm going to bump Pete up a bit.
Let me just check my settings again, because last time we did this,
yeah, but you already sound way better than you did last week.
Oh, I know. I'm just making sure.
There. I've bumped us both up. I'm still got myself a little bit down though.
Okay, that should hopefully fix it a bit then.
Brent is playing Warframe as usual for Sunday morning.
Very good.
I am going to get into
that. There are at least 3 things that we can predict in this life that are guaranteed. Is that, you know, there's death, there's taxes, and there's Warframe on Sunday for Brent.
Yeah, and laundry. But yes.
I mean, laundry, no, I do that all through the week, like, if I have to. Because I'm a normal human being who doesn't stack their clothes up like that.
I'm not. I want to hire someone to just do all my stuff.
Both this time, so have a look and see. I mean, it seems to be coming through all right on the recording side, so maybe it's just a stream thing. You need to have a look at your levels on OBS.
Well, that's what.
Better.
Yeah,
cool.
I've bumped us up in OBS. So
very good. I mean, when I'm doing the testing myself, I can only listen through my phone screen, obviously. So it's just
yeah. Oh my
phone. Yeah, through my phone speakers. That's what I meant. Because I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. I figured it out. It's gonna be a quickie this morning.
This morning. I mean, this afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon, isn't it? Oh, dear Lord in heaven. Oh,
I mean, this morning for Brent, of course, you know.
I am very delicate today.
I wonder why. We'll get into that in the show, I guess.
Yep.
To which I reckon we have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. How's that?
Or 3 minutes.
How's that
3 minutes.
Cockney accent? 2 minutes. Go.
Well, I guess we could go all Iron Maiden with the whole 2 minutes of midnight.
There you go. Oh, I hope I'm not choking on mold.
I hope not as well.
I don't. I think
Just,
it's just mental. I really don't think I am.
I mean, it could well be, but it could also be the upside down completely invading your entire workspace.
If you had seen the wall, Pete, before it collapsed, you would think that there was things growing on it.
I mean, you described it to me. It already sounded disgusting enough. I'm not sure I needed a visual.
I have to take pictures for the insurance company, but
Oh shit.
yeah, I had to I couldn't take pictures of the gross stuff because I was like, I can't handle this.
Ugh. I mean, who did then?
The engineer guy, plumbing engineer
Okay,
guy.
but that's all right then. That is fine.
Yeah, he's so funny because he's also doing my bathroom, like the remodel, and there's some antique, very which I showed you pictures, Pete. Antique gold tiles in there. They're very expensive, but they're from like the 60s. When Pete first saw it, he called it my pimp bathroom. So, do you remember that? That's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I do. It was pretty pimp.
Yep.
And it seems like something I would say.
Yes, well, it is something you said. I think he showed Rachel.
Well, of course I did.
I was like...
You kind of said it was garish, if I'm honest, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I was like, please, can you save these? They're like 30 pounds each, and there's like 500 tiles there. And he was like, oh, I don't know about it. So he showed up, last week to kind of prep and everything. I was like,
yeah.
So this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we're not going to be able to save these tiles. And I was like, no, you have to. Please save my tiles. He goes, take a picture of it and look at it later. I'm not saving your tiles. And I was like, aw, you're my best friend now.
You tried so desperately hard to keep them, but you just cannot.
I just think it's hilarious how no matter who I talk to, whether they're engineers or post office people or whatever, but here in Northern Ireland, they end up just slagging me off and like, it's hilarious. And then we end up being friends.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
I think that's just Northern Irish dudes.
I mean, your barometer is deadbeat punk. That
is the exact, description of a Northern Irish person. Well, male. Yeah, because women aren't too much into slagging each other off.
No, except he has a particular disdain for someone like me.
Oh, because you're English.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a crazy time. It is a crazy time over here.
It is indeed. I mean, I have no hate for the Northern Irish, except I can't really say anything because my country was the one who did things to them.
It's alright. I'm an American, and America was founded on the blood of innocent natives. Although I do often say that, I'm the first generation born in America, so actually, I'm Scottish, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's also another problematic field there for my part.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that was in the past. I can't do anything about that.
No, you really can't. You really can't.
No.
I mean, it's so funny.
Cool, though.
My dad was like, when I told him I was moving to the UK, he's like, not England, right?
What did you say to Northern Ireland?
I was like, no, I think we're going to try Northern Ireland. He's like, all right, okay. He's like, as long as it's Ireland or Scotland, I support you. He got really excited, too.
That's throwing some shade at the Welsh there as well, to be fair.
Well, it's weird. Here's what's weird, especially about, like, America. You know how, like, the British news tends to forget that Northern Ireland exists completely? Mm-hmm. And this is not a slight against anyone, but America tends to forget that Wales exists. They never talk about the Welsh.
Yeah.
They talk about Scotland, and they talk about England.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because, in America, Ireland is all one island. They don't. They don't recognize Northern Ireland.
Nope.
Officially.
Sometimes. Sometimes
it
there's a
depends
news story, but they're very, very infrequently.
Yeah, and it also depends on who's president. at the time. But most presidents, and I'm not talking about political parties at all, I'm talking about strictly the person that is the president. Most of them actually don't recognize Northern Ireland either. They only recognize Ireland.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
It is. It's also a bit weird.
Yeah, and I think we've covered politics enough.
Yeah, I was really riveted. So I'm not going to lie. I try to stay as apolitical online as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so wrecked. We do need to go ahead and do our thing.
Do. It would have been nicer if we had an extra person to join us to sort of.
I know.
Carry the workload.
Carry the load.
No, I'm joking.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Pete's doing all the carrying.
Let's do this. So, right, set the recording. So, 2.
Welcome to Rapper Reviews Radio, episode 128. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And this is a really fun show.
Put a bit more enthusiasm into it. Thank you very much, and please try not to die.
I'm trying not to die. I'm currently coming to you live from the Upside Down, where I'm breathing toxic air. So
I mean, we went into that in the pre-show, but hey,
I did.
You know,
and I won't reiterate.
That's a reason to go on Twitch.
There you go.
Twitch.tv/rapidreviews. You know,
absolutely.
Because I do my job.
That's right. Well, Pete is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting today, as usual. Like he always does it anyway.
It's getting heavy, you know, like really, really heavy.
But, Pete, I do want to start us out, as we always do. How was your week?
Weird week. Very weird week. Stuff at work. Won't go into it because I can't. Anyway. Other than that, it was alright actually. Like, spent some good time with Rach over the weekend a little bit. Enjoyed the nice weather, and then had a marathon session of Fall Guys basically nearly all day.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. I mean, I kind of said to you a little bit last night, but throughout the day I was playing it. So woke Rachel up, and well, she was already awake anyway. But came upstairs, drank a cup of tea, sort of spoke to her for a bit, and then played a few games. Oh, she was like sitting on Facebook, and then when she went, I was like sat out in the garden playing it for a few hours, and then went for a walk, and then came back and played it for like 4 hours with you guys.
Yeah.
And been playing it again this morning, so I can't stop playing Fall Guys.
It gets very addicting. Their battle pass system is very addicting. Like, it really, to me, I know this is going off subject, but it really shows to me, like, how Halo has really, 343 has really dropped the ball. Not a griff ball pun. But because their battle, yes, it should be. Their battle pass system gives there's no motivation there for me personally. I don't want to speak for everyone, but whereas like Fall Guys and obviously Destiny, it's just like I will happily grind and just grind away and not be bored, not be anything, you know, because the reward system is so, you know, the feedback is it's just really, really good. I like it.
Yeah.
But I think.
How was your week?
I was trying to remember. It is strange times for my life because I finally got my driver's license. Which I was absolutely thrilled to death, which means I'm out and about all day, every day. I'm barely home, which is how I like to live my life. It also means I'm back at the gym, which is amazing.
That's great.
But I still can't do my workaholic stuff because my whole downstairs downstairs is completely trashed and being demolished as we speak. Well, not technically as we speak, but it is coming up. And it's a weird thing to experience, seeing your house gutted. It's a very strange thing.
It's kind of happened to me when I was a teenager. Like, we had to move out of the house for like a couple of weeks. Like, go and live in a flat like literally whilst they literally upended my entire kitchen.
Oh my gosh, was it
The
one
whole
of those?
entire back half of the house, basically, in a sense.
Oh my gosh, was it like a leak or something, or is it just redo?
The I think the foundations needs to be sorted.
See, I know a person who their whole like it started in the kitchen, but the whole foundation is crumbling, and
Yeah,
they have to move out for like a full year.
Jesus.
See, for me at that point, I would just sell and just be like, bye.
I mean, some people have a lot of attachment to their
I
house,
mean,
though. So if
yeah,
you've been there for like 40 years, you're going to try and savor it
yeah,
rather than move on.
maybe normal people. But I did want to say though that yesterday, yes, as Pete mentioned, yesterday we got to do a rapid reviews Fall Guys. You want to say Fallout Guys? Fall Guys play sesh. And it was
Yep.
so much fun. It really was. It was very enjoyable. Chloe streamed part of it, and I don't know. I just had a lot of fun, but I also had a lot of wine, which is why I'm very loopy today. And I had a lot of wine in a little time. A lot of wine in a little amount of time.
And not a lot to eat.
And yeah, no.
Always a bad combination.
Very bad combination. And I ate a cheeseburger for breakfast, by the way.
I just think I just thought it was funny last night when your food was just taking so long to
It took
to cook.
forever.
It took forever,
And
and
it
then when
was
you
just-
finally ate, it was like, oh, this chicken is amazing. It's like the
best.
best I've ever eaten. It was like the most drunk moment you had in the entire night. It was so funny.
I bought these chicken skewers, which to me aren't supposed to take very long. And it took like an hour to cook chicken skewers, of all things. Anyway, Brent says, my parents are selling their rental house this month. Oh, wow. Holy crap. That's a new, like, if you don't have that rental income coming in and stuff, that's a new position in life.
Yeah, but they could possibly reinvest it into a new rental house.
Yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
so they can.
That makes more sense. Building at the lake.
Yeah,
That's
heck yeah.
better option.
I'm gonna be exploring real estate in the coming years, but I'm gonna be an ethical landlord. So, meh.
Does that even happen? Ever?
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's what I know about myself. I will end up trying to be a landlord and renting to people, and then I will start to feel sorry for them, and then I will just be like, here, have this house. And do good in life. This is my problem.
Yeah. You say high expectations. Doesn't always come to fruition.
No, I mean, I like to think of myself as a ruthless businesswoman, and I can be, as long as there are not vulnerable people involved. The minute there's a vulnerable person involved, I just turn to jelly.
Well, that's good. At least you're ethical, but
Yeah.
you know Do you have to remember that some people may not always be ethical themselves?
This is my problem. This is my problem, and I don't have a radar to tell me when people are being, liars and stuff.
Why you need a board?
I do. You're correct. Anyway, that's boring stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
Good banter. But
Good banter goes a long way, and good times had with people is always nice.
I saw this discussion on the Twitter verse about
Ugh.
should podcasts do their banter, their pre-show banter, and I'm sorry, I absolutely yes. Like,
what? Why would you have a podcast without the banter?
Some
the
people-
pre-show banter,
some people were like, "Oh no, it should just be straight into the subject matter, whether it's news or whatever."
No,
and
I
it's
get
like,
that. I get that if it's a scripted thing, you wouldn't have that. But there are the difference between like an unscripted and scripted podcast.
Yeah.
You can have
Well, I
that's
mean,
a whole different field.
The whole reason I listen to podcasts is because I get to know the people and I enjoy, like hearing about them. I enjoy hearing about their, not their private lives, but you know what I mean, like their normal human lives.
Yeah.
type thing. So anyway,
Yeah,
that's
it's always
me.
nice, but I find that as well. Like you sort of get to know them across like week to
Yeah,
week in that respect. It's more personable. You know,
exactly.
I
But
do like scripted stuff, hey, but
well,
that's a
yeah,
totally different kettle of fish. If I'm trying to
exactly.
seek something out, like
What was that
like
one?
Dark Knight
Cereal?
Diaries does it really well. Like
Oh yeah.
Serial was a good one. Dark
Hmm.
Knight Diaries does it really well, where it's mostly scripted. He sometimes goes off the beaten path, but it's because it's informative.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
do like that. I do. But, they each have their place. But we're going to
yeah, of
kind
course.
of quickly, swiftly moving on because really and truly, guys, I'm not well today. Which, Pete, the more I think about it out loud, I mean, yeah, obviously I did like slam wine like crazy.
Hmm.
But I also did that down here. And I'm technically not supposed to be down here in the basement. Eh,
Then why are you still down here? Look, podcast over. That's it. No, I'm joking.
no. But we will keep this one kind of brief. But I think
Yeah, please
um,
move everything upstairs immediately after this, though.
I may have to. Next week I might
No,
be
you have to.
I'll be coming to you live from my dining room table.
I mean, it's fine. People have done it before.
Yeah. It's
I did
not.
it. I mean, that interview with Daniel, I did that
Oh
right live from the
yeah.
dining room.
That's right, you did. Live from the dining room. That's what we'll call it. The dining room diaries. But anyway.
I mean that would work if we had a particular series to work
I
with. I
know.
mean,
We
we'll
do need
we'll,
to.
uh, we'll talk about that
Yeah, we will.
because I actually think that's a good name.
That is actually. Okay. File that one away. Anyway,
What was it? Sorry, say it
mhm,
again.
dining
I'll
room
go back and
diaries.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll note that down. Carry on. You give the spiel.
Yeah. But we actually do have a very interesting, haha, I said it, um, subject to
Of
talk
course you did.
about because
Yeah,
I'm actually very into this discussion, and I do think that we will in the future do a wider discussion on this.
we
Um,
wanted to, but there
yeah,
was
it's kind of
and
last
something
minute.
else, but there was not
Yeah,
really many other people available as well. So
yeah. Summertime, people be on their vacays. Except
yep,
me, I never go
need
anywhere.
to warn you about that actually at the end of the show.
Yeah. I almost brought that up in your "How was your week, Pete?"
Yeah, but I'll
Uh,
talk about that at the end.
yeah. But Pete, would you like to introduce today's topic?
Uh, no, because today's
Yeah,
topic
it
sucks.
does. It
Always
does.
sucked every time this happens, and people are weird. But that's laying my cards out on the table. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we need to. I need to try and get past all this editorial nonsense before we actually go forth and discuss the story.
Yes.
So anyway, so two events happened over this recent week where it involves, unfortunately, communities thinking that it's right to harass people for things that may or may not have happened. So, uh, basically, during the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, the new Monkey Island was shown. I'm
Yes.
quite excited that it's actually a thing,
Yep.
but apparently there's not a lot of people out there that are that excited about it. They wouldn't basically bully Ron Gilbert off basically posting any further updates about the game in an
Yeah.
online capacity.
It's very confusing to
Sorry,
me.
say your mic.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I find that very confusing because the chief complaint seems to be that people don't like the art style.
yeah.
And
I
now,
think that's what it is. We can go into the story a little bit. I can discuss the VGC article, but carry on.
oh, well, I mean, yeah, well, actually, I'll save my opinion
Okay.
till
Oh,
you're done.
yeah.
And then,
Let
yeah.
let's read let's
Yeah.
read through the article then because that's what we do. So yay, another news episode. I'm joking. Like this is actually a topic
I
to
was
some
gonna
degree.
say, we did
So
a topic.
I know, but it's disguised by news.
Yes.
Anyway, so as the article reads, and it says Ron Gilbert has said that he will no longer post about Return to Monkey Island online due to what he called personal attack comments. The developer has received criticism from some fans over the art style, art style change between. Sorry, 1 second. This article's being weird. Uh, yeah, sorry, something was in the way, so I couldn't see the full thing. So, um, the developer has received criticism from some fans over the art style change between the classic Monkey Island titles and the upcoming sequel. Criticism which he has previously called sad. And the only thing I could think of is was Curb Your Enthusiasm. Sad, so very sad. But yeah, I've been watching too many internet videos. On Thursday, Gilbert claimed on his personal blog that the negativity was becoming too much for him and that he would be shutting down comments and no longer sharing about the game. At the time of publishing, the site is offline. So this article was written on the 30th of June, so a couple of days ago as of recording.
Wow.
Yeah, which is not good. So he's and quotes he said, "I'm shutting down comments. People are just being mean, and I'm having to delete personal attack comments. It's an amazing game, and everyone in the team is very proud of it. Play it or don't play it, but don't ruin it for everyone else. I won't be posting any more about the game. The joy of sharing has been driven from me."
Ugh,
Terrible.
that's heartbreaking. Like, literally.
I mean, this guy's a legend as well.
Exactly. Exactly that. Ugh.
This guy's an absolute legend. So I can't believe this.
Well, my thing is, I obviously am not like I've played Monkey Island, bits of it, the original.
Hmm.
I'm not like people like you, Pete, and other people I know who are like super fan. You know, they play.
I'm not.
It's your childhood,
No,
right?
don't get me wrong. I'm not a super fan. Like I've played the games. I'm not
Yeah,
like a massive fan
but
of
I
them.
mean,
Like
like
I've played them and enjoyed them, of course.
right. And I assume they hold a place in your childhood and that kind of thing.
Not quite. I played them a lot, sort of a little bit later. Like
Oh,
not quite
right. Okay.
childhood, but more my teenage years.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess that's really what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have that, like, excitement, whatever that a lot of people do. But having
Mm,
said that, so I saw the like screenshots or whatever that he released.
yeah.
I thought the artwork was adorable and I thought it fit perfectly. I mean, it's not the LucasArts, uh, you know, art style from, the
No.
late 80s, early 90s, but what are we, 20, 30 years later? It can't be,
Yeah.
you know?
I would say it is kind of similar to the old sort of art style, but updated for a modern
Yeah.
audience.
Like, for me,
You
it
know.
has that feel. It maintained the feel of it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Whilst it is a new game, like it
Hmm.
does sort of feel like in some respects, could be a pseudo remake of like the old, like
Hmm.
the first game. You don't know. Like
Right.
that could be part of the package that they're not telling anyone about. Is that actually they could have actually remade the first game.
That's kind of what
Who
I
knows?
I kind of assume they are doing that. Now, I have nothing to base that on.
No, I mean it would be a very
Oh,
good
it's
idea
because
if they did.
the reason why I made that assumption is because the teaser trailer had the original music in it. That's why.
I think that's more of a nostalgia thing for sure. It's just to try
Probably.
and get the old fans more back in because I think they may have felt that the art style would be quite divisive, but
Right.
probably not to this kind of degree.
Yeah, which leads us to, well, do we want to discuss that now or do you want to read the second half?
I mean, we could talk about the other aspects of that particular story
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, let's do
So,
that, I guess. Yeah.
so I think this may have been what sparked off the other incident that
Mm.
happened, particularly with when it comes to Sony Santa Monica and Cory Barlog having to get involved
Mm-hmm.
to a certain degree.
Yup.
Anyway, so once again coming from VGC, Cory Barlog insists the God of War Ragnarok release date is still on track for 2022. So it said it's not delayed, but a release date reveal reportedly planned for June 30th, not now unlikely. So obviously it's now the 3rd of July as we record. It's been a few days since that
Right.
has happened. And I think this goes into it in the article. I would say I haven't really looked at these because this was thrown together very quickly. So um, I'll read the article anyway. So, Sony Santa Monica Studio creative director Cory Barlog has said the God of War Ragnarok release date hasn't been delayed again, which would mean the game's still on track to arrive in 2022. PlayStation sequel has been the subject of intense speculation over recent weeks, with a number of reports and claims about the status of the game, resulting in fans in expecting an imminent update on the project. So, this was coming from a few industry insiders, and I can't remember the name of the particular person who was involved in this, but Jason Schreier was
Right.
also
Oh,
talking
yes.
about it.
That's right. Yeah.
To the point where someone apparently had data mined something, and it was a video that apparently in binary like code had a release date of 30th of June, and it's like, yeah, okay, I think clutching at straws here is possible,
Yeah.
like very, very possible. Like
Exactly.
it like, and this is completely an editorial stance on my part, is that I don't feel like, well, Sony never said anything was coming, so how can people be expectant of something that they never said was coming?
Yeah.
It's weird. Anyway, so earlier this month, Game Reactor claimed to have heard from European sources that God of War Ragnarok was being delayed to 2023, although Bloomberg subsequently claimed this was not the case. Citing three people said to be familiar with the game's development, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier, there he is, always talking about delays.
Yo.
Said God of War Ragnarok was scheduled to arrive in November, and Sony was expected to announce the game's release date this month. Like I said, you get someone like Schreier talking about this, and it's going to stir some pots, basically. But on Wednesday, Sony Santa Monica Studios Barlog asked fans to please be patient for news on the eagerly anticipated sequel. Echoing similar comments he made in April, Barlog added, I promise things will be shared at the earliest possible moment they can be. Okay. Right.
Well.
So there was an update on it. It said Sony was reportedly due to reveal God of War Ragnarok special editions today. So that was as of the update, I think on the 30th.
Right.
Along with the game's release date, but there was a last minute change of plan.
Right.
So I'm not going to say to expect anything in the next week or so, but there will probably be something within the next month, more than likely.
I think so. If they don't punish the fans for being complete jerkholes.
Well, let's get into that, shall we? Because I think this part of the story is basically leads on to the next bit, which is why I obviously wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, this is the setup. Now here comes the jump shot.
Yeah, so like I said, once again, coming from VGC, because seems to be trusted source on this podcast for the present. That could change again, like I said. Treat developers with human decency and respect, God of War director urges. So Cory Barlog's statement was also seconded by Phil Spencer.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, Sony Santa Monica creative director Cory Barlog has taken to Twitter to make a plea to the gaming community to start treating game developers better. Can I add a small thing here?
Sure.
Not just game developers. Can we just all just treat each other better as communities in whole?
I
just
agree
anyone,
with you there,
like,
Pete.
can we just please be a bit nicer to everyone?
You are correct there, Pete. That is for dang sure.
So I don't want to just highlight just one person. I just mean all as a human race. Let's just all learn to be a bit nice to all. Anyway, yeah, Dalmo. Sony was reportedly speculated to be announcing a release date for God of War Ragnarok today. So yeah, this ultimately didn't happen, leading to some of the game developers to reportedly receive abuse from people online. So, I mean, there are some that are a lot worse because there are some that have come out, but we don't know to the magnitude of how many were sent, how many people were doing this, and I don't feel like we should label an entire community as horrible people based on the actions of very, very small handful of them. But it obviously does make the wider community look bad as a result of the actions.
Yes. And I do think that means that we as members of the gaming community should hold those people accountable for their bad behavior. Um, and I think you're probably about to read it, the worst of the bunch. To me, just
Hmm.
because I am female and my just,
Yeah,
my
that's
general
what we're getting
position.
into
Yeah.
here.
So yeah, if you want to go into that.
So, one female developer tweeted that some users had been sending out unsolicited explicit images. So we all know what they are, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to say them for the younger audience.
Yeah.
And asking her for the game's release date, to which Barlog replied, "Are you effing kidding me with this now?" That is a sentiment that I share across the entire internet community, to be fair. Why the
Yeah.
hell are people sending those kinds of pics anyway? Like, between consenting adults, fine,
Right.
whatever,
Yeah, that's totally a
whatever they want
separate
to
issue.
do, it's
Mhm.
totally
Mhm.
your thing,
Yep. Yep.
it's
Yep.
just,
Yep.
no, not cool. Like, sending it to like a person who
No.
doesn't suspect it.
Why? Why would you? Like, if we're
Yeah.
talking specifically about, let's say, this developer, why would sending a picture of that make her want to release the game faster? I don't understand the
No,
logic.
not at all. It was like, right, finally, I've finally been sent a pic
This
that can
was
make me
it.
work harder, pun intended.
Oh gosh. This was the linchpin. This was everything. This was my motivation. Oh my gosh, Pete.
I'm gonna hurry through this game so I can make sure that I can get on that immediately.
And on her wall, the Homer Simpson do it for her, but it's all
Oh
private
no!
parts.
Oh my god,
I
that
mean,
is
is
an image
that
I did not want.
is that what are they the people that do this? Is that what they're thinking? Because I can tell you, I mean, yes, I can't speak for everyone. I am a cis straight female, and I can
Yep.
tell you right now, if anything like that showed up in my inbox, it would probably demotivate me more than anything. Especially if
Uh,
it was, if it came with if it came with like, oh, you better release that game soon or whatever. Like, what do you write with that?
I don't know, to be
I
honest.
don't
Like,
understand.
the only way that I could think to do it that would actually be interesting, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
recommending anyone
Oh
do this
no!
at all. This is
Warning!
totally
Warning!
hypothetical.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, yeah. It's if he did it in a funny way.
Like painted it to look like Kratos.
I mean, that would be kind of funny, yeah.
That is quite
That
funny.
that
That is not
that
an
would be
invitation to art.
no, exactly what.
But that is
Or,
funny.
or you had written on it like, "What's the release date?" or something stupid like that.
Like Skyrim's release date
I mean,
11/11.
I still don't condone it. It's just,
No, it's terrible. And if
like I said,
anyone,
purely hypothetical, because
yes,
we need to get a laugh out of the
we
situation
have
because
to
it's so
laugh about this
dour
situation
otherwise.
because I mean, let's think like okay, the gaming community and journalism relationship has
Hmm.
not done well since Gamergate. We all have our personal feelings towards Gamergate, and no matter what they are.
We also have very differing viewpoints of what actually occurred as well.
Right. See, all of that's out there. Believe it or not, Pete and I are actually closely aligned. Not 100%, but we're
No,
actually more closely aligned than you would assume, just, looking from the outside. But having said that, you would think, since the Gamergate nonsense, there would be a certain portion of the community that would maybe not be trying to look like jerks with obnoxious body parts and stuff like that. I don't I'm flabbergasted. I'm speechless because what were they thinking? Like what? Like what? What is the logic in that? And do they harass any of the male employees? And if they do, how do they do it?
I have no idea. I mean, it's probably like,
That's rhetorical, actually, but yeah.
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 In fact, yeah. Thanks for clarifying. I wasn't going to go into that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wait.
I was wondering whether or not I should, and I was like,
No, no, no,
no.
But I am still stunned that anything like that could, like, I say that. I mean, there's always going to be bad actors, bad apples
Hmm.
for no matter what. 1,000 years from now, and 10,000 years in the past.
Yeah.
That's true for all spectrum of genders and everything. So I'm not singling out just one gender. Um, but it is still shocking to me that we're in 2022 and this is still happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's unbelievable, actually.
It's like, what? Why? Why harass? Like, why pick her, and why harass her with that particular style of harassment?
Mm.
Um, and what did they hope to accomplish? But that leads to a broader question, which is not rhetorical. This next one's not rhetorical.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying.
Yes.
That would have been an awkward silence
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah, it just fell silent for 5 minutes as we each ponder. No, like, what, you and I are not set up like this, so it's a difficult thought exercise. But what is the logic in harassing developers? I'm it goes over my head because the developers could only do so much, and if the game's not ready, it's not because they were like chilling playing pool out in the back room. They're working their butts off.
They probably were, but let's.
Well, everyone
Yeah.
needs downtime. But no,
No, that's probably what they're doing all the time. Come
yes,
on, this
make
is
my
not how
game
this works
right
on the
now.
internet.
Yeah,
I mean, for Christ's sake, they probably work 2 hours a day.
there you go. And then they get coffee breaks with like beautiful
With
Starbucks
gin.
coffee. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. But no, honestly, what I would like to know, and I almost wish we could get a troll on here. It'll never happen, but I would love to interview private their voice and private their face. I would love to understand the mindset of why are you harassing the devs? And for those out there, I'm not saying Pete. I'm talking about the terrible bad
if I
actors.
was a notorious troll, I wouldn't be sitting here with my voice,
Exactly.
My face, and my actual name.
Yes, exactly. First and last. But
No, what I say is my own, and I say it with full conviction. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't care. People can come at me as much as they want, but I know I don't have that big of a following that it happens. So
more's the pity.
I
But
can't imagine how horrible it is to have to be someone that just works at a company, like who has a large following, mostly because they work for a company and people
right.
follow them for updates on things like that, or people follow them for seedy reasons. Like, let's be honest, that the main demographic on Twitter are males, and most males will follow females just because they think they look pretty. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen the other way as well. There are females that
Yeah.
probably do the same. So let's not discriminate here.
On that, I'm quite sure. I'm very sure of that.
But the vast majority of males will do it, if we're honest. Like, I unknowingly do it as well. Like, it can happen. You just like, oh, okay. And then you find a couple of tweets, you're like, yeah, I'll follow them because of that.
You know what's funny?
That's cool.
Sidebar here. You know what's funny is when you get followed by a guy that you know is just following you because of your picture. What?
Okay, that's a strange comment, Brent. He said maybe we can find a troll named Pete.
There you go.
Hey, maybe under a bridge. Sweet. I mean, I knew a notorious troll before, but he was also an absolute arsehole. So,
Well, I assume that they are. That's why I would love to talk to one and complete.
Yeah, but you
anonymity.
can never get a straight answer out of them either. So that's the problem.
thing.
You don't know whether the whole thing that they're doing, if they were to come on the show and talk about it, would even be an elaborate troll as is.
Yeah, very true.
Because then you're giving them sort of airwaves to talk a load of absolute nonsense for a troll. But I guess that is also it also raises another complete point out of this as well, is that whilst it is complete crap, what they're doing and saying. I mean, sending unsolicited I said it. Sorry.
Yeah,
pics, don't help.
That.
Aren't great. It's just It is, for some degree, it is still free speech. I know, it's a weird one,
I
right?
don't know that that falls under if it's your private conversation, right?
I don't know, like, what I mean
Publicly,
more so,
yeah, but
not the those kinds of pics, but like
yeah,
some of the things that people say, like, so long as they're not committing a crime, they are still free speech. So long as they don't impede on the rights of anything else, they
right.
are still free speech.
Well, but then that comes. I mean, you're correct there. Um,
I know, but that's
but
that's that that's how it is as free speech absolutist, I guess. So
I
some like
yeah. Mm. Um, but it comes back down to my original question, which is what is the motivation and what is the perceived goal of these people harassing devs? Like I can't follow the logic, you know?
I think I think that's the problem in a sense for me as well, is that I don't follow the logic because I'm not that way inclined.
Right,
Yes, okay,
right.
I'm averse to having a laugh and a joke, you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do like doing so, and I do like having to wind up to people's
Mm-hmm.
expense, so long as they don't go too far, you know.
Right.
You know, there's a big difference between that. But these are just, I don't think this is an elaborate troll or anything like that. I just think this is just general nastiness. This is just, as a society to some degree, there are people who are just absolutely abhorrent, like, in what they
Just
do. And it's, I think the reason why they're demanding release dates like this to a certain degree is because we've become a culture that is just not used to having to wait for anything. Everything is delivered to us right
on
now,
demand.
right here,
Yeah.
right to our face, like
Mm-hmm.
every minute of the day. You know,
Unfortunately.
back when we were kids, when, let's use an example here, like we as people over in the UK, you wouldn't have had this as much in America, but we had to wait often 2 years for games to come
Oh
out.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
so we would be impatient. Yeah, we'd be writing letters to like Nintendo forums,
Mm-hmm.
to the to publications and stuff like that. But they were never, like, you probably got a fair few that were absolutely abhorrent that they would never print. But the
Right.
vast majority of people were just like, I really want to know more about this game. I want to see what's happening and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, we all know it's out elsewhere, but like we haven't seen it, you know. But in this day and age where we can see everything that's revealed, like at any given moment of time, all we want is to have it right in our hands right this second. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but everyone to a certain degree will have that. They're like, yes, I really want to play this, but most will not act on the instinct to go, let's go and harass a developer to actually get this out quicker because it is counterproductive to what you're trying
Very
to do.
exactly. Like I still maintain. I've said this so many times, but it's because I truly do believe this. Um, Red Dead Redemption 2's marketing strategy, to me, as an outside observer, was probably the best one. They had nearly finished the entire game when 6 months
Hmm.
before they said, "Oh, this game's coming out. Here's a sneak preview," you know. And
Yeah,
then we only had to wait 6 months, and then we got a full, complete, you know, game.
yeah,
I say that the online was crap, and the online is still crap. But I'm talking about the actual playable game itself,
hmm,
which I do view as separate from online. That's just me. But the I love that they did that, and I think that might have mitigated some of this harassment. I think people now again, I am not blaming the quote victims at all. So please do not misunderstand what
no,
I'm about to say. Um, I'm just trying to think of solutions. And I almost think that we do announce games far too early in advance.
to
Um,
some degree we do, yeah.
yeah, and then we keep announcing them with dates. And I don't think that should happen because they
Yeah,
keep
I
having to
think
change the dates
Yeah, I think
constantly.
if they're not absolutely certain about the date, which is, I think is a strategy that Nintendo seems to do very well, is that once they know a date, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially, I mean, over the recent years, especially with the Switch, it's been, they have, the, to some degrees, and sometimes they don't even know anything about the game until they're revealed, and then they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's coming out in 2 months, and then we'll just have a big marketing push for it. And
Yeah,
I think that works really well.
I
But
agree.
obviously, like, I think to massive companies like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, they do need to show these big first party games and first party IPs to make sure that the consumer base is still very much interested in the product. It is very much a symptom of the capitalist system we live in.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
just, I think sometimes they do it well too early. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going overly political because that is just a viewpoint that some people could make.
Yeah, and but I do agree that it's too. We're announcing them too early. I'm saying we're as just the whole gaming everything,
Yeah.
um, because I don't know. I just think anticipation is good, but I think your point towards everything's in demand on demand now. I mean everything
Mhm.
is. I mean we even have
Oh,
like
it is.
DoorDash and Just Eat and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So.
that was only until a couple of years
Mhm.
ago, obviously, with the pandemic that like we didn't
Mhm.
have that, and now it's just everywhere.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I had to get
it's
myself to
crazy.
stop doing it. I was doing it like 4 nights a week, and it's very expensive. And it was like, what are you doing? Like, just
It's too easy to do so as
yeah,
well. That's the problem.
it's
Like,
crazy.
I mean, I can understand when we had the pandemic on.
Mhm.
Obviously, you couldn't
Yeah,
go to places to go and pick
it
stuff up
made
with any
sense.
degree of
Mhm.
ease. To some places around the world, you couldn't even do that anyway. Like, you couldn't
Right.
go anywhere. So,
Well, we had a full
uh,
lockdown here, so yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, after a while over here, we could eventually go and pick it up, but it had to be
Mhm.
at a distance and all that.
Right.
There was one that we did that was really really strange, but I'll tell you about that later because I don't want to go into full details about it. So, yeah, but it's just exploded over the last couple of years to even when we're now actually out and about, like living our lives like we to some around the world, of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
are
Yeah. Yeah.
going back to some degree of normality,
Mhm.
but it's still a major thing.
It is.
Netflix, Disney Plus
Mhm.
are all coming to you like they're
Yep.
they're releasing like take this right. So Doctor Strange obviously came out in May over here, like
Mhm.
very early May. Like to the US audience, it was a couple of weeks later, I think.
Mhm.
And yet it's already on Disney Plus, and it's like
Yeah.
at the end of June.
Mhm.
And Warner Brothers, I think, are doing this as well. They want to get onto HBO Max. It's they're I think the lead time they said is like something like 40 or 45 days between cinema release and streaming platforms, which is
That's insane.
ridiculous.
That is absolutely
So this
insane.
is it's just mad. Like all this stuff is just coming at us. And I think yeah, the problem is, and a lot of people have said this online, it is literally just here's content now. Like you can't enjoy it. Like here's next content that
Mhm.
you have to get
Mhm.
excited for, and nobody can really focus on
Yeah.
anything that's in front of them. It
Oh,
is. It
yeah.
really is sensory assault.
It is.
But it, that
Absolutely.
but that doesn't forgive what's been going on. That doesn't mean that you can still be a
Right.
complete douchebag.
Right.
Like the thing is, you have to remember to still be a decent member of society and be a human being, and remember that people have feelings about what they're going to be receiving.
You know what I would probably do? I would probably like start if I had a company that catered to the public and timetables and stuff. I would
Yeah,
create an email address and just say like, here, if you're pissed or if you're angry, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
no, that's fine.
I
Like I think
got
that's fine.
I got told off by the doctor's office the other day for using that word.
Brilliant.
Anyway, but so if you're angry, here, email all of your hurt and anger to this email address and leave humans alone, I guess. But I don't know because I still don't understand the motivation or the need to
Okay.
like, you know, treat people
Sorry,
like crap.
speaking,
Hmm.
hypothetically speaking here, in that situation though, you're
Right.
still going to cause problem for somebody.
Yeah, but I thought you could put like just one person in charge and be like, look, you're going to start reading some really, really terrible things. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Make sure they're well looked after for doing that kind of job, because
Yeah.
that'll be horrible.
Exactly. They'd have to be like extra paid and stuff. But um but having said that, I just don't be like my company has one of my top selling t-shirts is literally in plain white type. It just says don't be a beep, but it
Yeah.
says the word. And really, that's what it comes down to. Just don't be one. Like, why? You're not gonna get anything done. You know, anything accomplished if you're treating people like
Yeah.
crap. And does it really make you feel? Somebody told me that once. Now I'm autistic. This does not register inside of me, so I cannot relate. But many people have told me that people that treat other people like crap, it makes them feel better to treat people like crap. I I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like crap, like on the bottom of a shoe if I accidentally, in my autistic way, hurt people. Because apparently I hurt a lot of people all the time just by being myself.
Yeah, Kiley.
and
Joking.
but when I find out, I'm like crushed because oh my gosh, like that's never my intention and blah blah blah. So the idea that there are people out there who feel better by treating other people like crap, sorry, I can't. I don't.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you. You need to go get some help. Is what I'm gonna say, straight
Exactly.
up.
And
Yeah.
same thing here. Like, we had a conversation before we went live, and I had to eat humble pie about, potentially being a bit of a douche. It happens.
But to be fair,
but
Pete,
you realise,
yeah.
no. Like I said, it doesn't excuse it. But it's just there are people out there that can do it and realise later
That's the
on that they have
thing.
been a fool,
I
and
think
then make amends. It's fine, but it's just
I think
you
that's a
can't
key
keep doing
part
this
of it.
crap
Mm-hmm.
like over and
Exactly.
over again and getting away with it and thinking like that it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Exactly. Yeah, like if someone like Pete makes amends, or whatever, like know that like I know people can be like, "Oh, well, that doesn't mean blah blah blah." But I think that goes way far as opposed to someone who's actually harassing, let's say a dev. And then it's just constant harassment and bombardment and they never feel bad. Like never feel bad. There's
Mm.
something wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, in most, I think it was people in the past, if they lacked empathy, wouldn't it not? Or people that still these days, surely if you lacked empathy, there was something
I
kind of wrong in the situation that you could end up becoming a serial killer
well, it's
or
it's
something to those respects.
yeah. I mean, Brent's actually saying something very similar, um, which is funny.
Yeah,
He says there is less empathy in the world now than in the past. It's very ironic. I'll do a very, very brief thing, but I promise this does relate back. So people know I had a tough childhood and I'm autistic. So you have two of those things on top. My mother did not believe in mercy or niceness, and she believed that you should never show your emotions because emotions are
hmm
weakness and all this kind of stuff. And then when I found out I was autistic, people kept telling me that I'm a robot and that autistics don't have empathy and blah blah blah. It was very very confusing to me,
yeah,
and I had to come to terms with the fact that I actually am the opposite. I have crazy amounts of empathy, but I only have empathy for like actual people who are in pain or I don't know the right word, the vulnerable in society and that
yeah,
type of thing. And for some reason, so that's made me hyper aware of what empathy is. I've done all this kind of research and stuff like this, just trying to learn about myself and, how it fits in the world and blah, blah, blah. And I am shocked at some of the stuff that people do. And I don't know if it's always been this way or if it's just we see it on social media.
hmm
But I'm absolutely shocked at the just puerile and cruel things that people do casually in their everyday life.
yeah. I
Like
don't understand it myself either.
people who like kick homeless people. Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? you know, people who hurt puppies. It's like if you're out there, and I am saying this to our listeners and our watchers and anyone who can hear my voice, if you're out there and you can hurt somebody innocently, either whether it's a puppy or a human life or something, go get help. You need
Yeah,
help. And stop treating people, game devs, as if they are your personal attack property that you can just that you have any kind of agency to just message them and say whatever's on your mind. Well, you don't have that. I'm sorry, but you don't. We live in a society.
I mean, all right, Joker.
Yeah, that's my Joker origin story for you right there. I don't actually think there's less empathy in the world. Here's what I think. I think there's a rise in authoritarianism. And for some reason, certain sects of society find, quote unquote, quote, this lack of empathy, this cruelty as a strength. But I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't nothing strong about it. That's the weakest stance you can take. Hurting another person. Ooh, that didn't take no strength at all. I just was a beep. You know?
Yeah, you're just a butt.
Yeah, exactly. The true strength is in treating people with respect and, decency.
Even when people are treating you like complete crap.
Yes, exactly right, Pete. Exactly. So if we have
why is it you think the bullies used to get wound up whenever you were nice back to them when they were treating you like dog crap?
Exactly. Now, here's another thing. Because I was bullied like crazy as a kid, but I was also super, super, super religious / Christian. And there was a verse in the Bible that I do still very much live by, which is if someone is being mean to you, you be as nice as you can to them because it's like heaping burning coals on their head. And that stuck with me as a kid. And yeah, when the bullies would spit on me and push me down and do everything like that, I just didn't react. Or, if they stole one of my shirts, I just let them have it. And that wasn't me like laying down and being a victim. No, it's like, you know what? There's something lacking in their life. So just let them have this little bit, And
yeah, I mean, I was mostly the same. I say mostly because at one time that I changed that pattern, it felt quite nice.
Now, yeah, like I'm not gonna sit here.
That was a very extreme sort of moment that warranted that. I felt like, and that one was the one that sort of pushed me over the edge.
I will say this, and Pete, I don't know if it's the same for you, but now that I'm older, and I'm aware that some people from my past are listening to this. Not any bad people though, thank goodness. It's all good people.
Cool. Hi, Lynn.
Yeah. But I what I've noticed is that some of the people that treated me the worst in school and throughout my life didn't end up very happy.
Nope.
I take no joy in that. I don't take any joy or pleasure in their, demise or whatever. Yeah. But I think that speaks to a larger problem, which is people who are like this, people who attack devs and stuff like that. They're not happy people.
There's clearly something going on in their life that means that they're not enjoying themselves. And to that I say, I mean, it's become a meme, let's be honest. But go touch grass.
Oh, yes.
Go outside and have some fun. Try and have fun and see the beauty in the world. Maybe then that might change your outlook and perspective.
Yeah.
But also, the other thing is, it clearly seems like you need to get some help. So please get some help.
I think rather than being angry, I think your anger is justified if you are a dev that is attacked and you're angry at these people. I think you're absolutely justified.
Fine. But if you're the one attacking, for no reason, basically.
What I'm saying is, I think that rather than people going, oh, these people are terrible and bad, oh, woe is me, nothing will ever be done, let's put up with it. Why don't we try to push mental health services, maybe the Samaritan's number or something like that when the trolls are out in full force or something, because it might catch somebody out there might be like, self-aware enough to, type of thing.
Do you see that comment?
I do, yeah. But you read it if you want.
No, you carry on. No, I think you should read it and sort of discuss a little bit.
Well, Brent says, I think part of it is non-personal interactions with chatbots, answering services, etc. I think it's not just that. I do think that's a part of it, but I think it's a cliche at this point, but the anonymity of the
Yeah.
internet.
The anonymous nature, let's
Yes.
say.
And it makes people forget that other people are humans on the other end.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, and then Brent adds, some of it is solitary activities like playing video games alone, listening to music alone, streaming movies alone, etc. See, I have confusing positions on that
I'm
because
gonna. Can I just put? I have a very hard. I'm gonna hard disagree on that one personally. But you carry on, and I'll give my reasons why after.
right, for me personally, I'm a very solitary person, and I will always be. That is who I am. Although I would like to bond with one human and just for the rest of my life, and then we be cool buddies that watch movies together and stuff. But I mean, outside of that, I'm very, very, very solitary. So I don't know that it's necessarily that, but at the same time, here's what lockdown taught me. This is what's crazy, because for people who don't know, the island of Ireland was in full lockdown for 2 years. I saw maybe 4 people in that entire 2 years, 4 different people. And we're now coming out of lockdown. Well, we've been out for 6 months or whatever, but I now have a driver's license or whatever. I have been to the gym, and it's so energizing just being so sorry, Chad distracted me.
That was a bit distracting.
That was a little bit of a distraction there. I have been solitary for so long that just being in a gym with other people, I didn't talk to any of them. Well, not many of them. And I definitely wasn't workout buddies or anything like that. That's a step too far. But just being around them and getting that energy really just was oh, I guess the saying "no man is an island," not a pun on Ireland, haha. It comes from a reason. People, unless they actively choose to be solitary like myself, people shouldn't be alone. And maybe that is influencing them.
Yeah, maybe. But like I said, I have to hard disagree personally with that comment because essentially what's happened to me over the last couple of years is that I pretty much lost all my friends and all of that. So apart from a few who were incredibly busy, so it's very difficult to even see them. So apart from seeing Rachel, I essentially had a very solitary experience for what has essentially been 3 years apart from work. So, but I haven't turned out to be a complete knob jockey, let's say,
Right.
Sorry, that's a very English
I was
sort
going
of
to say that
insult,
was so British.
I know, but I haven't turned into that kind of person. I'm still the same, but obviously hinge that on the fact that I haven't grown up completely within the internet age where,
Yeah, but
I think that's the other decisive factor is that some of the people doing this are probably still very young to the point that, a lot of people don't have grown up in this society and that's what they've seen every day and they just think it's normal and we do need to encourage people again that kind of thing just isn't normal. You shouldn't be done really. You shouldn't really go out of your way to try and hurt someone just because for the sake of it. We need to remember there is empathy in the world and to remember to try and treat people as they want to be treated themselves.
Yeah, and it's actually I do agree with a commenter, Green Jenny. People are
I want to say thanks for that first time chat as well. So
people are by nature political/social animals, as Aristotle said. Anyone, sorry, my chat's going fast. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as to not need to, and therefore does not partake of society, is either a beast or a god. And that, my friend, is the exact sentiment I was trying to express just now, which is I thought of myself as a completely self-sufficient, insular, didn't need any other human contact whatsoever until lockdown for 2 years. Where I didn't have any contact with people, and then boom, I'm at the gym, and all of a sudden I feel like part of humanity again.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't talk to anybody. And then Brent says, and of course, some is due to technology like grocery delivery and personal email / text, which is
Hmm.
actually kind of what Pete and I were talking about earlier. Yeah, boom,
Yeah.
Aristotle relevant. 2,500 years later, Aristotle is always relevant. Thank you.
I was
Yes,
just about to
100%.
say that. Yeah.
100%.
All right. Shall we wrap this up a little
Yeah.
bit, and then we can do post show as well for a little bit?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap this up. I think for me personally, and then Pete, of course, you sum up your feelings as well. For me personally, it is just don't be a beep goose honk.
Okay. Good.
Um,
Good, because I was going to say, please don't be a dingus.
and thanks for the follow, Green Jenny. Um, but
Thank you very much.
um, just remember that everyone is your fellow human, yes, but devs are not your employees. Not that you should treat your employees like that either, but what I'm
No.
saying is they are just people trying to make it in this world. They have hardships, they have family members that are sick at home, and they have maybe their dog is not doing so great, or they've lost something that's dear to them. Just remember the humanity that's on the other side of the tirades that you're sending, or these unsolicited pics. Again, don't know what the motivation for that is. But there's a human on that other side of that. And just, if you find yourself having problems with empathy, maybe get some help for yourself more than anything, just to help yourself. Yep. All right, Pete, what about you?
No summary needed. You said everything I needed to say as well. So let's move on and close this out.
All right. Well, we thank our listeners and our watchers for joining us over here on this very quick episode of Rap Reviews Radio.
Just before that, do you want to just catch the last comment from Brent before we close out?
Oh, Brent says, I am not saying those things change you, but the younger generations that hasn't known any different are being changed from a cultural worldview that de-emphasizes people. Now, there's a thought, Brent.
Interesting thought and theory. That we'll
Nurture
discuss that
versus
possibly.
nature. I hadn't
We could
thought
potentially
of that.
be discussing that at a later point.
Yeah, I think that's a good. Hold on to that thought, Britt, because that's a nurture versus nature thing. But yeah, what was it saying? Oh, yeah.
Right. Do you want to let everyone know where they can find you on social media?
Yes. If you want more insane ramblings, you can find me over on Twitter at KILEYTEHGREET. Kiley to great. And Pete, what about you? Where can they find you?
So I haven't been as active on Twitter recently because stuff. But I might go back on there in a bit.
Stuff
So you can follow me at Pete Beckett 1, which is spelled BECKETT and the number 1. You can also check out a new Never Watches episode that should be coming this week as well. So I don't plug them. I do say about it, but I don't plug it nearly enough. So please check out the Never Watchers, Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, where we talk about the movies and the TV shows. Where the movies, Kurt goes in blind, and I go in blind to the TV shows. So we've got Loki season 1 coming up. We're going to cover the first 2 episodes, and that should be this week. We're recording.
Yes.
In a couple of days. So look out for that one, and they're also on social media and Twitter as well at Never Watches.
Yes, which I'm very excited to see here.
Also, damn you, TCGS.
Oh, I knew it. I knew you were gonna get that in there.
No, that's just apparently the conversation that was had between the two of them, because I got more messages this morning, was that we're rivals, but there's no bad blood. So yeah, we're cool. We're cool.
No, it's the fun kind of beefs like we have with Deadbeat.
Of course, they're trading on our turf, but that doesn't mean we won't enjoy it nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah, damn you, Deadbeat, for stealing our Monday slot.
Yeah.
We were there before you. Damn you. I love our Monday beef. I like it with nice amount of salt.
Yes, with liver and onions and some Chianti. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Yes.
Join us next week, where I will be a little bit more alert, and probably at my dining room table as they gut my basement.
Yes.
And Pete will be Pete, the stalwart guy that does all the hard work. Anyways,
Always.
Always. We will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.
All right. We're only going to do a few minutes of
Sure.
post show because I just
Okay.
do not feel so good today.
I know. Just give me a few minutes. Give me a second. I'm just going to change some settings once we're here.
All right.
Yeah, I might go quiet temporarily.
Okay, I'll just ramble. No, but do you like the idea of discussing nature versus nurture with the current society parameters that we have in place? It's like, what if a baby was raised by robots?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Like all the needs are met, like the physical needs, but the emotional and all that stuff may not be met. Which I think Brave New World, I'm pretty sure Brave New World, it has an entire chapter dedicated to that, but
I'm pretty sure it probably does.
Yeah. But yeah, like, see, that's weird. That's one of those weird, like, when I was a kid, I used to think of these weird experiments, and I would tell my mom, and she would be like, don't tell anyone that. That's disturbing. Don't tell anyone. So it's kind of like, what would happen, though? Like, you know?
Too many weird things would probably happen, so yeah. Brent's just put, I kind of like the short format, to be honest. I do like it as well, but sometimes the longer form discussion needs to be had because you can't fit everything into an hour or so.
Yeah. We have tried over the last few years to get it down to an hour and a half. And I think that is pretty good. I hate when we go over an hour and a half. I do. Unless we're just
that's because your distractions is also elsewhere at that point.
Because my poor brain, you know. But it's a wonder.
Sometimes.
I was gonna say it's a wonder I hung on as long as I did today because
drinking.
I just really drank too much.
Yeah.
I drank too much. It's a Dave Matthews song.
Of course it is.
Oh my gosh. So Pete, what are your plans for the rest of the day?
Well, in case you probably haven't figured it out, I'm probably editing right this second as we talk. So.
Oh, of course you are.
So yeah, I'm going to try and get that out, not early. It's going to be out at the regular time, of course, because, try to do my thing. But the reason why is because I'm going to try something different. But if it works, you'll know about it. If it doesn't, then you won't.
Ooh.
So, audience, keep a lookout for potentially what could be happening on Spotify with this episode.
Ominous.
Just note. So like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Please don't come out with comments saying why didn't it happen. It's just whether or not I have time to finish it, let's say.
That's what she said. Brent says, by the way,
Hardy ha.
I think the Sony Walkman began the downfall of communal activity. Well, see, here's the funny thing about that.
The Sony Walkman was amazing.
No, wait.
Don't diss.
No, I'm not
get out. No, I meant Brent. I'm not taking this absolute slander of like the Walkman. The Walkman was the greatest thing when you had a paper round.
Well, see, here's the funny thing.
Anyway, carry on.
The funny thing is, though, Brent, here's what I noticed. If you look at pictures from the early, 20th century, like the 1920s and stuff like that, when they took pictures, there would be people on the buses and trams, and they're all got their head buried in a newspaper. Instead of their phone or instead of on, stuff like that. Not to say that there aren't talkers, no matter what generation you're in.
Of course, yeah. But you have them, but they're considered weirdos on the bus.
Yeah. I think people...
And that's a joke, by the way.
Oh, yes, it is. Of course it is. I'm just doing some weird rational brain stuff. Brent says, I think we're doing a trip tomorrow for Independence Day. Is that tomorrow?
That's amazing. Where are you planning on going? And yes, it is tomorrow, actually. Jesus. Long weekend for you guys.
Yeah, I want to know. And, a lot of my, I'm not going to get political here. Promise. Keep it apolitical. I'm just making an observation that some of my friends in Texas are not celebrating.
Why would that be? Because of Biden, by any chance?
Well, more about what the recent Supreme Court has done in the last couple weeks.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I find that interesting because I come from such a very, very patriotic part of rural America, to then see that those same rural Americans are like, nah. It's like, oh,
Weird.
wow. Oh,
It's very strange to me, to be honest. I
yeah.
don't get that.
That's, I mean, it's interesting, you know. Um,
Mm.
but I think I've told this story before.
Yeah, you
Oh,
probably
a
have.
tri-tip, the tri-tip steak, right? Which Pete, you
Mm.
would call it a sirloin. It's our sirloin cut in the U.S. is very different than the sirloin cut
A
here.
hunk of meat, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see it.
tri-tip steak is
Ah, okay,
what
yeah,
you
okay,
would
yeah.
know as a sirloin.
I
Um,
do love a good sirloin, to be fair.
I was gonna say I love a good slab of meat, and then realized what that sounded
That's what
like.
she said.
Yeah,
That's what you said, actually.
I did yesterday. Guess what I had for breakfast? For
Big slab of meat.
breakfast at 7:30 a.m.
Big slab of meat.
Ribeye steak. I did.
Excellent.
I did.
I
I'm
mean, I'm
back
not a
in
big fan of
training.
ribeyes. I'm
Oh,
not.
I
I
love ribeyes.
like them because obviously the
The
amount of like
fat.
flavor you get off of it, like because of the bone and the fat. But it's just like Jesus, like that massive bone just weighs a
Well,
lot, so it takes a lot away from the
I
actual
do.
meat itself.
You're correct. I do have. I get the trimmed ones because, of course, I do. Um,
Good.
I'm a
I'm glad.
terrible human. When I start talking about the stuff that I do in my everyday life, I forget sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh, kind of my privilege and stuff. But yeah, Brent, I seriously considered ordering Plan C pills just in case. Yeah, a lot of my friends are stocking up, especially in Texas, obviously, for each other.
Yeah.
Different world. It's a different world.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I can't believe it. The world I left behind is just so different now.
Mm.
But
Very strange, isn't it? Very strange.
back to my favorite subject, which is meat.
Of course it is.
um, yeah, I had a cheeseburger for breakfast this morning because
Very good.
I'm back in training now.
Of course. And yeah, all I've eaten today is one slice of toast. Wait for it. With half a tin of beans.
Oh, of course you
And
did.
a small bit of cheese because
Did
I'm
you?
actually on a bit of
Oh
a
yes.
crash, kind of a not. I wouldn't say
Don't do
crash
crash.
diet, but
Yeah,
I'm
don't do
doing
crash.
definitely not a crash diet.
No.
I'm more on a changing habits sort of
Yeah.
thing and trying to lose a bit of weight before I go on holiday in September. So that's the
Yeah.
thing I was going to say. Coming back to it
Yeah.
finally,
Full
is that we're
circle.
probably going to actually have a couple of weeks off in September because I'm
Hmm.
going on holiday and I'm going quite far ashore.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the class where you're going, Pete?
I'm going to Aruba.
Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take
So
you.
please don't
I
do that
couldn't
again,
help
because
it.
I know, but Kieran did that for a long period of
I
time
know.
last night, and I felt so uncomfortable.
I wanted to start singing so bad because that's
So did
exactly
I.
as soon
So
as
did
you hear
I.
Aruba, that is the song that
Yep.
pops into your mind. Um,
Yep.
but
Indeed.
take lots of pictures, obviously, because
Of
I want to know
course.
how it is.
Of course.
And the funny
Yeah.
thing is, that's when Lynn's coming. Is in
Oh, is it?
September. Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's disappointing. I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss.
might not
Oh.
though, because I think she's gonna be here like 6 weeks. It's her longest
Oh,
trip ever. Yeah.
go. So
So
when she come?
I'm not sure. I think it's the first week in September. I have to
Okay, yeah,
check
because
again.
so for full disclosure here, so we usually record on a Sunday, as you know,
Mm.
obviously. So the 11th, yeah. So weird how it seems to have worked out, like
Yeah.
that they're having September the 11th off.
I know. That's
Weird,
crazy.
very very
There you
strange.
go.
Anyway, I mean, it probably would have been more appropriate last year, but well.
Yeah.
And then the 18th as well. So I hadn't told you that, but I think we should probably have 2 weeks off
That's fine. Two
just have
weeks
a
is
couple of
fine.
weeks of
I would
just
start
chilling.
getting nervous at the 3 week mark.
Why?
I would be like, oh, I'm fiending for my podcast recording days,
Oh dear.
like that. I would
Yeah.
start missing it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, there's just in the background, there's also a discussion being had about potentially changing that day anyway. So
yeah,
that's not going to be for the next at least few months until probably after that anyway, before we go on holiday.
yeah, but
After we
we
go on
are
holiday, so
we are open to suggestions of different days and stuff.
yes. So please tell us if there's a specific day that you would like to see us go live to a certain degree, because there are some days we just can't do.
Right.
Some days are a little bit easier.
Fading pretty fast, Pete.
Yep, that's fine.
Are we?
Is it? Brent said Beach Boys for the win.
Yeah, I do like
Fair.
Beach Boys.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay, we are glad everyone joined us. We got our new follow. That's
Thank you.
awesome. And we will be back and brighter and bushier tailed than we are today.
And maybe guested next time.
I hope so. I mean, we've got some really great discussion topics that we're like,
itching.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, we will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.